Hello again, this is Andrew Becker, and today I'm going to be covering the anatomy of the heart, specifically all of these structures right here. This is a sheep's heart that I dissected. The heart is a four-chambered pump. Blood enters through the right atrium, is ejected into the right ventricle, pumped through the lungs, returns to the left atrium, enters the left ventricle, and then gets pumped out the aorta to the rest of the body. Some other surface anatomy, I managed to kind of shave away some of the fat covering one of the coronary arteries right here. And then it's probably simplest just to trace the path of blood. So we'll start with blood entering the right atrium from the superior and inferior vena cava. I kind of left my probes in here to help us see. This area, this negative space up here, that is the atrium. It's separated from the ventricle by the atrioventricular tricuspid valve. You can kind of see one of the leaflets of it right here. And we know this is an atrioventricular valve because it's attached to the ventricle by these chordae tendineae and papillary muscles. From here, blood gets pumped out of the right ventricle and up through up through the pulmonic artery. Let's see if we can't see in there. Excellent. So that's the pulmonic artery outlet right there. And it's covered by another tricuspid valve. That is our pulmonic valve. Only this one goes to a great vessel, so it doesn't have chordae tendineae. From there, blood is going to get pumped through the pulmonary circuit and return to the left atrium by way of the pulmonary vein. So that big negative space up there, that is the left atrium. It pumps blood into the left ventricle through the bicuspid valve. These two leaflet structures right here. This is the only valve in the heart that has two leaflets to it. And like the other atrioventricular valve, it's anchored by chordae tendineae and papillary muscles. When the left ventricle contracts, blood is ejected out into the aorta through the aortic valve. This is another tricuspid valve. You can kind of see three little leaflets right there. Okay, last but not least, we have the ventricular septum. This is a very muscular wall that separates the right ventricle from the left ventricle. And there are three layers to the heart. We have epicardium, which helps form the pleural boundary, the pericardial boundary. The whole heart sits in the pericardial sac with a little bit of fluid rotating around it to reduce friction. Deep to that, we have our myocardium. This is the middle layer comprised of the cardiac muscle cells. You can see it's much, much darker. And lining the ventricles and the atria is an endocardial layer, and that's composed of endothelium. Okay, that about sums it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you again for the next one.